Hi everyone, welcome to week 6. Yeah, week 6 of the Will Abare Show with Will Abare. I'm of course Will Abare. And I know what you're thinking, like the intro, same 3 weeks in a row, or I have an explanation for it. We're definitely broke. We're out of ideas here. We need help. Send help. Not really, but no worries. The Will Abare Show with Will Abare is still strong, and I have something exciting planned for you next week. But until then, we're going to just stick with what we got. Anyway, let's jump over to some scores, shall we? The first game I want to talk about is number 5 Didi's Yellowstone Bisons taking on number 4 Mom, This Girlie's on Fire. I got through it. The final score, Didi won 117-71. Great victory for Didi. He had 30 points from both Stefon Diggs and Tyreek Hill each. Probably the best receiving core in our fantasy league, Diggs and Hill. Just pretty daunting. As for Mom, 71 points is her lowest personal score ever. And this is evident from lots of people on bye week. Devontae Adams, one of her top picks, was gone. 2 players had no catches and 0 points. They were playing, but actually got her 0. And then just horrific performances from Mike Williams, who had 3, and Mike Evans, who had 8. So just a rough go of things for your team, Mom. Game number 2 was a low-scoring yet well-fought battle between number 8 Nini, It's in the Bible, and number 3 Will Roethlisberger Helper. The final on that one, Nini had 78 to Will's 99 points. A good game that ended in my victory. So, great game, actually. For Nini, she had 2 of her starting players get ruled out. They were game time decisions. They got ruled out. It was her kicker and James Conner. So, maybe the outcome's different if they get in. As for my team, Mark Andrews from Baltimore, Cooper Kupp and Saquon Barkley all played terrific, and that's a pretty daunting trio. I may be biased here, but I am yet to see something that good anywhere else in the league, so watch out. Our third game, I would call this a lot of bark but no bite. Number 7 Dad, All I Do Is Win, took on number 6 Porter's First Down Syndrome team. And the final on that one, Dad had 66 and Porter had 122, a almost 60-point differential there. Just a blowout. For Dad, his lowest all-time score, 66 points. And for you fact checkers out there, he's only 2 points higher than the literal all-time fantasy low of 64 set earlier this year by Mason. So Dad, rough week for you again. He benched Lamar Jackson for Kenny Pickett, which I respect, but it cost him about 8 points. But nothing that he really could have done to avoid this butt kicking. Porter just played out of his mind. Joe Burrow's 33 points was just a game changer. Our final game was by far our most anticipated game of the week, and also the highest scoring. It featured the highest and second highest scorers of the week. Unfortunately, only one of them was able to win, but it featured number 2 Mason's Cleveland Massage team taking on number 1 Kathy's Gold Digger team. Great names, great battle. Mason had 137 to Kathy's 146. So within 10 points, a very good high-scoring matchup. For Mason, he had his trio of Jamar Chase, Breece Hall, and Austin Eckler. All were up around the 30-point range, just went off. However, it was just not enough to beat Kathy, the highest scorer of the week. Christian McCaffrey was her highest scorer with 23. And this is the first time all season this has happened, but all of her players, defense and kicker included, had over 10 points. It's just a phenomenal week for Kathy. and able to top Mason, who had a great week as well. So now that I've talked about all the games, what time is it? Oh, right, the awards section, of course. And we always start with the Golden Chainsaw, the MVP of the week for cutting down the competition. And this week's Golden Chainsaw, for the first time, will go to Porter Ward. He had a lot of trash talk coming at his way. Dad sent some weird, insulting video, and Porter, I guess, just he took it personally. Unbelievable job, Porter. You had a buttload of points scored this week. Now you're on a 2-game win streak and back to 500. Congratulations, Porter. Golden Chainsaw. The Vacuum Award goes to Mom. Despite Dad scoring a record low, the Vacuum Award going to him is getting a little repetitive. But Mom, this is your first time ever in the 70s, and you took a loss this week, but nothing to be concerned about. This Vacuum Award is basically just a formality. So, Insightful Foresight goes to Porter. He benched Justin Herbert, who got 8, and started Joe Burrow, who had over 30 points. Just a breakout game for him, and a great decision by Porter. Definitely put the game out of reach for Dad. And finally, the Cond Award has to go to Nini, because 2 game time decisions resulted her in taking 2 zeros. Nothing she could have done about that. And in a game that was close between me and her, within 20 points, that could have easily been swung if you get some actual points instead of zeros. So that is it for our weekly awards, and now let's shoot it over to our meme of the week. So for the meme of the week, first, in order to understand this, you have to realize that there was a trade that happened this week, and I will post the details right now. So, Dad was able to get Kyle Pitts off his hands, and in response to that, I decided to make this meme.
Uh-oh, retard alert! Retard alert, class!
Now on to our AP poll, and no shakeup at the number 1 spot. Number 1 still is Kathy. Remains at 1, is our only 5-1 team in the league right now, and is very deserving of the number 1 seed. Number 2 is Will himself. 4-2 record and up a spot from 3. Number 3 goes to Didi, also 4-2, and he is up a few spots from being 5th seeded last week. At number 4, we have Mason dropping from 2, also 4-2, but not a lot of points scored, so that's why you'll see him lower on the chart. At the 5 seed is 3-3 Mom, who is down a spot from number 4. Just a rough loss this week, but nothing to be concerned about. Only a few games back. Number 6 Porter at 3-3 remains at 6, but far and away above 7 and 8. Because at number 7 we have a dramatic drop off in record. Dad is 1-5, remains at 7. And number 8 is Nini, who just can't catch a break. Remains at 8, 0-6. When will she get the first win? It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So that about does it for this week. Let's take a look and see what's happening next week. All right, for our final part of the Will Abare Show with Will Abare this week, here are the games that are forthcoming next week. We have number 1 Kathy taking on number 8 Nini. So it's very likely that Nini's 6-game slide may continue after this coming week. Next, we have number 2 Will taking on number 7 B3. I mean, another should-be blowout game right there. I have full confidence in my team, and Dad shouldn't have any confidence in his. So, B3, I'm coming for you. Next, we have number 5, Mom, taking on number 4, Mason. Two powerhouse teams, both at 4-2, so that should be an exciting matchup. But the one I'm looking forward to most is number 6, Porter, taking on number 3, Didi. Both teams coming off a win and looking for an advancement in the polls. So I think that'll be a very high contested matchup, and we'll have to see how that works. But that is it for the Will Abare Show with Will Abare. I am, of course, Will Abare, and given that it's Thursday, I hope you have set your fantasy lineups. And if not, do it by 8:15 tonight. Until next time, I'll see ya.